A local motel is forced to make some changes, the real estate market going strong in Barnstable, and find out what meetings will be held tonight at Town Hall. These stories on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, January 14th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. The Craigville Motel will need to make some changes over the next 90 days in order to keep its operating license. A show cause hearing was held for the motel during this week's Board of Health meeting. Tom McKean, director of the town's health department, detailed some of the violations found during an inspection of the property December 22nd.
Multiple health violations were observed, including inoperative wall heater within unit number 40, inoperative smoke detector within unit number 40, overcrowding within unit number 4 with 4 persons living in a room that was designed for 2 or 3 people, piles of debris and clothing on the floor within multiple units, rubbish observed on the ground behind the motel, and multiple discarded appliances and plumbing fixtures on the ground behind the motel. There are also several Massachusetts Fire Code violations of 527 CMR. Deputy Chief Pannon is here to testify. And what I also observed was a motorcycle within one motel unit, piles of vehicle tires, and the use of a portable electric heater.
McKean says this is not the first time the Craigville Motel has been called before the Board of Health. Hearings for similar violations were held in 2014 and in 2012. West Barnstable Fire Deputy Chief David Pannon added to that list of violations.
We had a stairway, which is an egress from the rear units, was found locked. They were also cited for smoke detectors being disconnected in rooms 1 and 17. We had hot plates and toasters in rooms 40 and 11. We had a gas-powered motorbike in room 36. This was a follow-up inspection for us. We had previously inspected the facility in November 5th, 2014. At that time, we had smoke detectors disconnected in rooms 25, 26, 30, 40, 39, and 36. We had some storage issues, rooms 11 and 22 being not compliant with height of storage. We had hot plates and toasters in rooms 37, 39, and 40. These are certainly continuations that continually come up.
Board of Health member Paul Caniff says his fear is that inaction by the Board of Health would result in tragedy.
Every few months we have a hearing, or twice a year or something. It's always the same kind of problems. I think you got a major problem here, and I think there's a couple of problems. One is it's winter and you hesitate to put people out on the street. But I think this is a disaster waiting to happen. And I think if a disaster happens, and we didn't act on it, then, that's a problem. So I'm a little betwixt and between here. I think the places have enough violations that the permit should be revoked. But I do would like to hear other people, what you people think.
Charles Mayo, who is in charge of maintenance for the motel, argued that paying guests were to blame for the lack of smoke detectors in some rooms.
The first one here is the issue of the smoke detectors. Inoperable smoke detector within unit number 40. Okay? The smoke detector may or may not have been operable, it was unplugged. What happens is the people go into the unit. If they go smoke cigarettes, they take the smoke detector down. There's no way of anybody telling if the smoke detector is in the ceiling or down unless they physically go into the room and inspect it every day. Twice, 3 times a day. There's no way of enforcing that the smoke detectors stay up on the ceiling, or they take the battery out of it altogether and they leave it on the counter. When Tara goes in to clean, or anybody goes in to clean the room is clean. She makes sure that the smoke detector is up in the ceiling and makes sure that the green light is on, meaning it's got power. And while she's cleaning, if the battery was low, it would beep. And she'd come over and get a battery, or or I'd have to go over because she can't reach it. I'd come over and I'd change the battery in it and fix it. The rooms are never rented to somebody or anybody with the system inoperable on her end. It's always ready to go when the people walk in. Any one of the rooms you can walk in right now, if it's rented, I can't guarantee that that smoke detector is up on the ceiling at this present time. Yes, they were all up this morning, but I can't tell you about it right now because I'm not in the room. But any room that's not occupied, that's vacant, the smoke detectors are in it and it's ready to be rented with an operating fire protection system. Now, I've been in contact with a company trying to go with a wireless smoke detector. This is just starting out now because I'm just getting involved in up there trying to straighten out all these problems. The gentleman that did the maintenance in the building is 77 years old. Things started to, wasn't getting up to it. He was changing the batteries, making sure everything worked, but now I'm trying to get it upgraded to this new system that's going to be a wireless system that's going to report to a panel in the office. That if anybody touches a smoke detector, takes it down or takes the battery out, an alarm will sound in the office, not an alarm at the fire station, but it'll be an in-house alarm.
Mayo says he is at times powerless to fix other violations as well because many residents fail to inform him of any issues. Board of Health Chair Dr. Wayne Miller responded, saying that the issue at hand really seems to be long-term residents residing in the motel.
But the problem, sir, is that even if it's a temporary use, with the way that you're licensed, with the regulations that you're under, that by definition is going to cause health risk because people are going to bring in hot plates. They are going to do these other things. So I think, we've probably identified one of the major issues here, which is the fact that the facility is being used in ways that, one, it's not licensed for, and two, which it was not designed for, okay? So I think I'd like to say that from what you've presented to me, I think you're attempting to deal with it.
I'm just trying to help everybody.
No, I understand, but I think the issue here becomes one of how do we keep this from becoming a recurrent problem? Because the other side, and this is what I think Mr. McKean was alluding to, I have been on this board for 15 years. I cannot remember in those 15 years another motel coming before us for even one set of violations like this. And this is at least the third hearing that I've been involved with.
Ultimately, the board voted to continue the hearing for a period of 90 days to allow motel management to work on fixing the issues that were raised. As part of the extension, the motel will have to go through 3 unannounced inspections once each month. And in other news, a strong December points to a rebounding real estate market in Barnstable County. Register of Deeds Jack Mead says there was an increase in most categories this December when compared to a year ago.
The volume of sales was up nearly 13% from a year ago. The total value of sales was up almost 27% from a year ago, which meant that the median individual property sale value was up 15.8% from last year. So we had a very solid December 2014.
Mead expects the market to slow in the next few months and then pick back up this spring. The Barnstable Youth Commission meets tonight at 6:30 at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. The Old Kings Highway District Historic District Commission meets at 6:30 as well. That meeting will be held at the West Barnstable Community Building. And finally, the Zoning Board of Appeals meets at 7 tonight in the Town Hall hearing room. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will learn more about the Centerville Civic Association. We'll talk with Airport Manager Bud Brialt, plus we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.